In December 41, Japan launched a surprise attack on the U.S. Navy base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. America, which till then had been supporting Britain and imposing economic sanctions against Japan, officially joined the war against the Axis powers. Japan pursued its expansionist policy throughout the Southeast Asia-Pacific region and committed terrible war crimes, but its advances were halted in 1942 after losing the critical Battle of Midway against the U.S. Germany and Italy suffered a decisive defeat against the British at the Battle of Alamein in Egypt in 1942, which was a turning point of the North African campaign. In 1943, after Mussolini's regime collapsed and the Allies landing in Sicily, the Germans moved to quickly take control of Italy, fearing its loss to the Allies. On the Eastern Front, the Soviets became the unlikely allies of the Americans, and the British gradually pursued the Germans across Eastern Europe. In June 1944, American, British, and Canadian forces launched the D-Day invasion, the largest seaborne invasion in history, on the coast of Normandy to begin the liberation of German-occupied France. The Allies also continued the strategic bombing campaign on German cities. Allied forces were closing in on Germany from both fronts, east and west, until May 1945, when Germany surrendered after the Soviets' invasion of Berlin and Hitler's suicide. By spring 1945, most of Japan's conquests had been liberated, and Allied forces were closing in on the Japanese home islands. Following the bombing campaigns against Japanese cities and Japan's refusal to surrender, the U.S. dropped 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Faced also with the Soviet invasion of Manchuria, Japan surrendered in September 1945. World War II was the bloodiest and largest conflict in history, with about 60 million deaths worldwide, many of whom from the Soviet Union and China, as well as Jews exterminated during the Holocaust. The United Nations was created and a sense of political and economic integration began, especially in Europe, to forge a sense of common identity. The influence of European great powers waned, triggering the decolonization of Africa and Asia, and setting the stage for the emergence of the US and the Soviet Union as new rival superpowers to confront in a Cold War.